All right, man. Playoffs time, man. The moment we've all been waiting for, man. Girls high school basketball playoffs right around the corner, man. We got a great show in store for you guys tonight. Really appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. Looks like we got a great group of people. Comment below, guys. Let us know who you're rooting for, man. Who you're supporting for this playoff run. Like we've talked about in the past, the more you guys comment, the more you guys interact, the better off this whole live stream is. We're gonna go down from each individual bracket, man. We're gonna break down the brackets. We're gonna get some predictions for Thursday's games, some key games to watch, some teams to kind of keep an eye on. But we're gonna get it started, man. Coach Kendrick, man, LBR the North, man. What's going on up there?
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Not much, man. Look cool, but we making it. It's playoffs, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Look, before we get started, man, we want to give a special shout out, man, to Sports Clips, man. Sports Clips is sponsoring the live streams from the playoffs from now here on out, man, and guarantee, what's really cool, man. We got a free haircut for anybody that's watching. All you gotta do is comment below MVP. So this is Sports Hair Clips, man. Great place. Go get a cool little haircut, man. Watch some TV, watch the games. We do know this is for men's haircuts and everything, but it's gonna be for all the coaches, the dads, the brothers, everybody. Comment below. All you gotta do to enter, comment MVP from now before the game on Thursday. Winner will be announced on the next live stream. We'll be doing this every single live stream. We come on live, man. Great support from those guys. This is good for any sports clips in Louisiana, man. So we're gonna play a little quick ad for them, man. Shout out to them. They got a cool little app. You can download that. Here's a quick little preview of that.
You may not know where you stand with today's youth, but you always know where you stand with the Sport Clips app haircut tracker that tracks your real-time wait time. It's a game changer.
Again, guys, comment below, man. Just comment MVP. That's all you gotta do to enter, and we will announce that winner of the free haircut when next time we go live, man. But let's go ahead and jump into it, man. First things first, the top of the bracket half is going to be Parkway. So Coach going to sit this one out for sure. But, man, I mean, honestly, I don't really love this matchup here if I'm Parkway, man. I'm the one seed. I got Airline and District Foes sitting there. It's always hard to beat a team 2 and 3 times in a year. They're going to take on Thibodaux. Talked about that a little bit. Airline is a little banged up, so could potentially see an upset there. That is a long, long ways for Thibodaux to go. But Coach Ashley over there in Thibodaux, they've done this before in the past, so do not be surprised if Thibodaux goes on up there and upsets Airline. That'd probably be my first upset alert that we'll have here. First game of the night. I'll go ahead and put it out there, man. Thibodaux's going to put Airline on upset alert. Definitely going to be a great game there. Then we jump down to another tough matchup, man. Like a lot of tough draws here. Slidell, who's been playing extremely good basketball. They're the 9 seed, and they draw Santa Maria, man. Santa Maria is tough, man. We talked about Santa Maria having Ryan coming back from ACL. Very, very tough matchup there. That game could really go either way. I think Slidell is a little bit better, 1 through 7 for say. So I think Slidell is the better team, but that's a tough, tough draw. And then Denham Springs is sitting on the other side there, right? We talked about this before. Denham and Slidell have played each other in the playoffs the last 2 years. Looks like they're going to play again for the third time, where Slidell won the first matchup, Denham won the second one. Denham went on to the top 28. Final Four over in Hammond, and now it looks like they're going to match up again for an opportunity to play what would look like to be Parkway in the quarters. Really excited about that game. Denham Springs did defeat Slidell earlier in the season, but I do think that's going to be so much on the line there. I think Slidell is going to travel extremely well. It was a great game last year, really last 2 years. I think that's probably one of the quarterfinals. I mean, the second round matchups are really keep an eye on. Probably one of the better atmospheres. But yeah, man. Guys, comment in the comments below. Let us know what your thoughts are. Coach is gonna sit this one out. But this Parkway draw, man, is tough, man. It is tough for the 2-time defending state champs, man. We're gonna jump down to the second half here. Barb and Ruston apparently my screenshots weren't exactly the best here, but Barb draws Ruston. Ruston is the last team into the tournament. And again, if I'm Barb, it's not really a team that I want to see there. I'm the 5 seed. You got Ruston, got some kids that can put the ball in the hole. You got coaches that have won multiple state championships coming down to Barb. You know they're going to be ready to rock and roll, man. That's not good either. That's a tough draw there. And then if you do happen to win that game, you're probably going to be matched up with either Benton, who's played in one of the tough districts in the state, or North Shore, who arguably has one of the best players in the state. So I think Barb got a really, really tough draw here. Some fun matchups between Barb and Ruston, Barb and North Shore. We had some people commenting earlier as well, man, that they're rooting for Barb. I just think Barb's got a tough draw here in the first and second round. I do like their 4 seed draw against Haughton. That's a little bit better than playing Parkway, Walker, or Zachary. So they do avoid those 3. I just think their first and second round draw is really, really tough, especially considering Ruston was the last team into the bracket, and they're gonna be well coached, ready to rock and roll. Let's go ahead and jump down to the next one, man. Coach, if you want to say anything, man, say anything. If not, I don't mind. You can sit there, and we'll get it rock and roll into the next division. Then we go down to the bottom half of the bracket. Again, guys, comment below. Anybody that wants to comment, we'll throw your comments up there. We appreciate all the feedback for sure. There we go. Let's get down. Barb is legit in there. Definitely tough. Zachary, I do like their draw here on the bottom half. But then again, you got Natchitoches Central. Natchitoches Central is one of those teams that you were trying to avoid if you are Zachary or Walker or Parkway, right? Zachary gets the bye here. They'll get to wait on the Honneville HL Bourgeois. Honneville and HL Bourgeois is going to be a dogfight. That's going to be a great game. I think HL Bourgeois has the playing style and the ability to upset Honneville. I think that's also a possible upset alert right there. As well as the 11 versus 22 seed, right? EA played a little bit lighter of his schedule. You can go back and look at their schedule. It's a little bit lighter. Northwood Shreve sitting there. We talked about that with the transfer of Marshall coming over there from Huntington. Gets Northwood Shreve back into the playoffs. I could again see an upset there. I think you could see a few upsets here in the first round. Northwood Shreve being one. HL Bourgeois, again, also being one at Honneville. And then you go down to the bottom side of that one, you got Natchitoches Central. I think Natchitoches Central will kind of cruise through there. Would love to see Natchitoches Central, Northwood Shreve, Natchitoches Central, EA. But I think Natchitoches Central and Zachary is what we're going to end up being here. And then it goes back to saying, man, can Zachary punch their ticket? And they keep knocking on the door of the Final Four, keep knocking on the door of the top 28. They've had multiple home games, and they set themselves up again. Can they take advantage of that, man? Can they take advantage of yet another quarterfinal home game? They've got to get over the hump. This is the year. You're going to have to beat somebody that's pretty darn good with Natchitoches Central, Northwood Shreve, EA, something along those lines. Then we get down to the bottom half. I thought Walker got a great draw here. Looking at it, compared to the style of play that Walker has, Mandeville really only having one ball handler. If Mandeville gets through Terrebonne, we've shouted out Terrebonne. Terrebonne does have some seniors that have kind of carried the torch there. It's a great opportunity for them, the coaching staff, the program. Terrebonne's going to be a program in the future that you're going to see a lot in this division. They'll have home games and stuff like that. Can they go on the road and upset a Mandeville? Again, Mandeville made it to the top 28 last year, graduated a lot. These programs are kind of in the same area, but for different reasons. Like Terrebonne's kind of coming up. Mandeville is, for lack of better words, they're coming down from their high from last year. They do have one of the best guards in the state in her classification. So I definitely think Mandeville is probably the favorite. I would not be surprised if Terrebonne does upset them. But win, lose, or draw, man, whoever wins that game is going to have their hands full with Walker in the second round. Just because of the style of play, Walker's going to really wear you down. I don't think either one of those teams is going to be ready for the number of traps and the style of pace and all that stuff, right? Walker's done a fantastic job year in, year out, making it to the top 28. Their style of play is proven, and I think they'll cruise on through here. You got Neville as well, Sulphur, EA. I just think again, Sulphur has had a lighter schedule. I could see Sulphur upsetting Neville. Just all the teams in this area of the bracket, I feel like are a little bit lighter. I feel like as far as matching up with Walker style pace, you just gotta have somebody that can rebound the shit out of the basketball. You gotta have somebody that can break the press. And I'm not sure if any of the 8 teams in this bracket have got that. I think Walker wins by double digits all the way through here, and they'll cruise back to the Final Four, man. Coach, man, you got anything else you wanna throw in there, man? I'm gonna try to catch up on the comments, man.
I saw some lady in the comments. She was saying, "Don't forget about DHS." I don't know who she was talking about. Maybe she could. I don't know. We don't want to overlook anybody. You know what I mean?
I think that's
Her.
Deschamps. So that's a good point.
Okay.
If that's Deschamps, I do agree with that. I did overlook Deschamps. Where is Deschamps? Deschamps is with Houghton. So let me see. That is actually a really good point.
They play Washita Parish.
So what part of the bracket is that?
They were Halton right there.
Right there. So that's actually a really good point. So I'm glad whoever was that commented there said that. So again, thanks again, guys, for commenting. It takes a village whenever we're doing this. It's a lot. It's 300 something teams in the state. So the more feedback you guys comment and give back to us, definitely the more it's going to help. Deschamps has not gotten enough credit. We talked about it a little bit. The Urson young lady, Corey, transferred there from Crescent City, has had a fantastic year. They've beaten John Curtis, right? Not many people have that feather to put in their hat. As a 13 seed to say you've beaten John Curtis, that's not somebody I want to see if I'm Houghton, Washita Parish. That is also a very, very good point. If there's going to be a double-digit seed to make the Final Four, it's going to be Deschamps. Deschamps definitely has, in my opinion, they are the only team. Let me look sure. Sulphur's at 10. Yeah, they are the only team that could be a double-digit team that we could be seeing them in Hammond. So,
hold on, man.
great
Don't
comment.
be making all these other double C's mad, bro.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. I don't see it. I like their draw. Now that has been brought to my attention, I do like that draw, and I could see them making it. Like I said, if you've beaten John Curtis, now granted, Amani wasn't there as well, but beating John Curtis is definitely a huge feather in the cap, man. I think you can take that and you can really carry that over, and you can rock and roll, man. I really, really, really love Deschamps' draw. That's a great comment. Anybody else? You got anything else you want to roll through, man?
Roll through the select side, right?
Yep. You go ahead and take us away. I'll try to catch up on the comments while we're at it.
On the select side, man, it's some great matchups as well on the select side, as you were saying on the first one. You got John Curtis with the bye. Southwood, ooh, Sterling's Catholic, right? Southwood's kind of had a rough ending part of the year, kind of ended bad, but they get that they hold on to that home seed. That's a Catholic is from Lafayette, if I believe, right? Yeah, Turling's Catholic.
Yeah, Lafayette. Yep.
Yeah, Lafayette area. It's 2.5, 3 hour drive up to Southwood, Walker Road, and I would have to pick. And I'm gonna go with Southwood. I ain't gonna be a hater. You know what I mean? I was at that place. I know those seniors there that they worked hard. Kamara Effett, Francesca Green, Nyla Jones, man. If they could get it together, I think they can get that first game at home. And but it will be tough for them to beat John Curtis. Let's just be honest. Then you got Riverdale, Kenner, Discover. I have not seen neither one of those teams. Alexander gets the bye. Right.
Riverdale does have the transfer from Mount Carmel. She'll be a college prospect as well. So that is who will advance there. Now, do they have enough around their team to go on the road and play at Ash? That's gonna be a tough place to play. I think Ash is going to be a team that's going to rally the troops kind of in the playoffs. I think Ash will advance there. So then you get to, does Ash have enough to beat John Curtis? I think Jimmy's done a great job of preparing his team for these type of moments. John Curtis is not near as deep as they have been in the past. I think we've talked about that. There's not a ton of teams
Well,
um, that are super deep. Like I think Woodlawn, in my opinion, is really deep. Play 8 kids and really trust 8 girls that can play. John Curtis is going to play 5. And
yeah,
we've seen Amani. I think she'll be back, which gives them that 5th guy. But get
it's
foul
my
trouble. I mean, even like effort, like right, it's gonna be hard to score on effort. If you can get back in transition, you can defend and make John Curtis have to score in a half court setting. Southwood could give him some problems. Uh,
well
Ag's gonna
sources.
shoot it well enough. Good.
I check my sources around the state, man. Sources say Money may not be back, and
Okay.
so you know what I mean. So it may have a chance, but I still got to pick John Curtis on that one, man. I seen them play when we were at the Lake Charles tournament, that showdown at the lake, and with Kiki and what I don't know what the number 24 that they got. What's the other guard they got? She was
Bailey.
nice. Yeah, she
Bailey.
was
Yeah,
nice,
she's got
and
Division One offers as well.
correct. Got Disney was one offense, and it's gonna be tough for South, in my opinion, for Southwood to guard them. And We'll see though. We'll see. If you just had to go with it, I think you'll get John Curtis and Alexandria here.
Yeah.
Um, and it may be a good draw for Alex because they're deep. They could play 8 kids at any time, and like you said, if John Curtis is only playing 5, maybe Jimmy can give him fits. He's a experienced coach, so he'll come up with something.
Yeah, no doubt. But again, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man, dude. And John Curtis has done a great job over the years of getting back to top 28. They compete for state titles. They're not, that program is not around to lose quarterfinal home games. So you're gonna have to, in order to go on the road, you're gonna have to really play extremely well. And that's a tough draw for everyone kind of in this area, in this bracket. We're gonna move on down, man, to the next half of the bracket. We got Dominican, Huntington, you got Lafayette sitting there, St. Thomas More, Warren Easton. Man, what's your thoughts on this part of the bracket?
I think it'll be you got Dominican, Lafayette. I think Lafayette can probably squeak by St. Joe. Should be able to anyway. And then Dominican, I think Lafayette got a good draw there. Me personally,
Yeah,
I think they got a good draw now. Having to drive to Shreveport, if they come to Shreveport to play Huntington on Raspberry Lane, it's gonna be tough for them. And that's a tough place to play. It's loud in there. You can't hear. You lose your voice as a coach coming in there after that game. That's just how loud it is in there. And anytime you got Carly Hamilton and Kendall Graham and Shy Bell, and man, you got a lot to deal with in that hostile environment. You know what I mean? And Coach Shine, again, state championship coach, gonna have them well prepared. You know what I mean? So I could see Lafayette getting to the quarters against Huntington.
absolutely. And I mean, I agree with you there. I think Dominican's done a great job of scheduling. He does a fantastic job every year. They play in the John Curtis district. They will be prepared for that high level basketball. I think that's going to be a game that's going to be a lot closer than people may expect. But like you said, whoever wins that, man, you got to go on the road to Shreveport, man. That's going to be tough, man. So it is a good draw until you get to the quarters. I would almost rather go to Woodlawn. Try to. I don't think Woodlawn's crowd is going to be as tough. Even again, Edna Carr, like they talked about, man, that's the quarterfinals games for those that follow. The Mardi Gras parades and stuff. That's the same night as Muses. So the crowd is going to be the biggest at Huntington. John Curtis is not going to have a huge crowd. Woodlawn's going to be a little bit bigger, and the car is not going to have a huge crowd. I think Huntington is going to be the biggest road game there, so it's definitely a tough matchup. If I'm Lafayette, I'm super excited until I get to 227 and February 27th, 10 days from now. Whenever I'm sitting at what time is it? 7:54. Yeah, sitting there at Shreveport Raspberry Lane. Man, that's gonna be tough, dude. That's gonna be
That's
tough.
tough for that.
Guards
That's a
win
tough
games,
place.
man, and they got guards for days, man. They got guards for days. Yeah, we got some comments in there, man. Parkway on the upset alert, man. Santa Maul, man. Santa Maul might be. I do agree with what he's trying to say. Like Santa Maul athletic ability can match up with Dakota Howard, with Ryan, and we kind of saw that last year, a rematch there. Um, just the pieces around her, and Parkway on the road, man. That's tough. Again, in order to be the man, you gotta beat the man, dude. Santa Ma's just not quite. Santa Ma's got to get to that first round game too. But they definitely could. Here we are at the bottom half, man. We got Woodlawn, Mount Carmel. I mean, again, Mount Carmel's in that John Curtis. I feel like everyone that's in that John Curtis district is prepared year in and year out for the playoffs, right? Mount Carmel, Chappelle, Dominican, and John Curtis. These teams, and Edna Carr, right? That's 5 teams that are in the one, two, three, 5 teams that are in the top 14, right, in the same district, man. That's pretty impressive, dude. So I feel like those guys, iron sharpens iron. I feel like those guys will be prepared there. I think Mount Carmel will advance. They'll take on Woodlawn. Woodlawn's probably gonna be a little bit too much for them, man. But again, I think Mount Carmel be prepared. I think Chappelle will also be prepared. Shreve, you've been ranting and raving about them. You want to talk about them a little bit?
Yeah, man. Shreve, we played them Friday night. Keith Green has got, he's 2-time back-to-back state champ for a reason, right? Him and Coach Houston, they got those young kids, man, and they are athletic and they just fly everywhere, and they don't back down from a challenge at all. You know what I mean? So it was a good game. They're gonna definitely. I'm gonna go as for the alert here, and I'm gonna have them in the quarters facing Woodlawn.
Okay.
So that's just how I think they're going to be well prepared. They won 20-some games this year, right? 20, 21, 22 games.
Yep.
They gave Halton fits when they played Halton. They've beat some other teams around the state, man. I think they're coming. If not this year, definitely within a year or two, they're going to be right back to where the old Shreve that we saw them winning 2 state championships in a row. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely agree with that. I think Chappelle plays a style of basketball where if they can get you in a half court set, I think they can really compete with anybody in this division right here in this bracket. It's just going to be the up and down that Shreve's going to want to do, the up and down that Woodlawn's going to want to do. If they can limit turnovers and stuff like that, I think it's going to be a little bit of a closer game. But if it's extended, up and down, I think Chappelle could struggle. But they've got some kids inside that can score the basketball, which is what you need when it comes down to the playoffs. They can throw it inside of Dublin. Dublin can get some buckets, get some people in foul trouble as well. Chappelle's kind of a little dark horse right here. Again, playing in that district, man, you're just ready, man. When you're in the same district as Edna Carr, who's above you, Dominican, who's above you, and John Curtis. You got 3 teams that are in the same district, and you're sitting at 6, man. I mean, you're definitely ready for the playoffs, and you've been ready for the playoffs.
They're definitely gonna be battle tested.
Absolutely. And Woodlawn girls basketball support. I mean, I know the boys definitely get supported. That's good to hear, man. Woodlawn girls basketball has not been at the level that they're at. Price going over there has risen that level to another level, and you've seen some young ladies transfer in there, and they've been really good as of late. So that's really awesome that they do have some people come in there and support them. So again, I mean, that's gonna be tough, man. Woodlawn with a home game, Woodlawn and Huntington is really gonna be the only 2. Like I'm saying, man, quarterfinals, same night as Muses. You can see that game being played earlier. Like home games in New Orleans are not gonna be what people think they are. You're gonna have to really challenge yourself, really get creative, and make some stuff happen, man. Because when it comes down to Mardi Gras or basketball, a lot of people down here are going to pick Mardi Gras. I can promise you that. Are we at the bottom half right here?
Yeah, we're at the bottom.
Hey, go ahead and take this away, man.
Ponchatoula, man. Ponchatoula over Bonneville. Bonneville's done a good job winning games this year, from what that program was a couple of years past. Win games to get into the playoffs, but Ponchatoula's, it's Ponchatoula. You know what I mean? And so Tioga Liberty, go ahead.
Go ahead. Somebody just commented, who is Tioga? Tioga is out of Central Louisiana. Tioga has a bunch of young ladies that play softball and other sports like that, but again, they've been really, really good for the last 2 years. And it's a testament to the basketball that's being played in that area, the Oak Hills, Ashes, and I guess you can even consider kind of Fairview. Some the girls' basketball that's been played in that area has really risen Tioga there. I think Tioga is a well coached team. They were coming down for our MLK event. That's a tough draw for Liberty. Again, Tioga is like not as experienced. Liberty has the experience, but that's a tough draw. Kind of both ways, really. Go ahead.
I would have to draw on Liberty's experience though in that game. Tioga kind of tasted it last year. Coach retired, and then they get a new coach this year, and but I think Liberty's experience, some of those girls having played last year, and they're young. Liberty's young. Coach will tell you this was supposed to be, I think this year was supposed to be a down year with her girls graduating last year, but here they are still at 18, right? Is that 18? If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. Still at 18, I think she's done a good job. That tells you what kind of coach she is. But anybody coming out of this matchup here is going to have to go again, like you say, Mardi Gras, New Orleans, right?
Yep.
And to Edna Carr, who just beat Walker, beat John Curtis, and Carter's on kind of a roll. You know what I mean? So Carr's got to be the favorite coming out of this bracket here.
Yeah, we definitely have. Like we talked about, you get down to this part of the bracket, and this division is really loaded, man. There's some really good coaches all the way through. You got, Liberty's won state titles. Carr, like they're rocking and rolling, rising coach there. Ponchatoula won state title. St. Scholastica has put themselves in the opportunity to be in the quarterfinals year in, year out, man. It's like, who is going to knock that door down? Like, we got a lot of new kids on the block in this area. Could you even see Ponchatoula, who has been playing some really good basketball, man? Could you see them, not knock things down? Ponchatoula's sitting there with a 10 seed. St. Scholastica, that's a tough draw, man. Same area. A lot of those kids have always seen Ponchatoula win state titles. You're trying to get to that state title run. Although that is a home game, could you be considered the underdog as the new kid on the block? That's gonna be a fun one to kind of keep an eye on next for that next round.
Can Ponchatoula, if they get by Bonobos and the next round and the second round, can they compete with Edna Carr? That would be the question.
I think so, man. Again, if I'm Edna Carr, that's not the team I want to see. I don't want to see a Ponchatoula team who has a huge fan base, who is going to travel on that 227, man. It's the same night as Muses, man. Like, I'm telling you, I keep bringing it up, dude. That is going to play a factor. I promise you that's going to play a factor. If I'm Edna Carr, I'm already like trying to recruit kids to come to the game, like giving out free pizza, like whatever it is I got to do, man, to get people, and you're going to have to show up. Because if you're playing against Ponchatoula in the quarterfinals, that game could turn into a green and white game well before it could be a purple and gold game. Like you're trying to get somewhere where you've never been, at least that group of kids, where Ponchatoula has always been there. Ponchatoula has always figured it out, right? She's going to have the scout report. And at that point, they're going to have 2 games on their belt. You're only going to be playing 1 game, where, no disrespect to Tioga and Liberty, Edna Carr is just at another level right now. So you're probably going to get a blowout at home. And then you got Ponchatoula, who's on like a hot winning streak here coming into the playoffs. That's a tough draw, man. That's a tough draw. Definitely a tough draw. Let's see. Ponchatoula will give Carr all they can handle. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's going to be a fun one, man. It's absolutely going to be a fun one. I'm looking forward to that one. If I am anybody in this bracket, I don't want to see Ponchatoula red hot. I don't want to see Lafayette. I think Ponchatoula got the better draw there, though. Definitely think Ponchatoula got the better draw. Again, guys, before we jump into the next one, guys, shout out to Sports Clips, man. Sports Clips is sponsoring this afternoon, and they'll be sponsoring kind of the rest of the way here, man. So, presented by Sports Clips. Free haircut on the line. All you got to do is comment MVP. Comment MVP down below. You'll be entered into a free haircut drawing. We'll give out that free haircut at the next live. We'll announce that. Again, they got a new app up and rolling, Sports Clips haircuts. Take a quick view at that video right now.
You may not know where you stand with that neighbor you wave at but never talk to. But you always know where you stand with the Sport Clips app haircut tracker that tracks your real-time wait time. It's a game changer.
Again, guys, sports clips. All you gotta do is comment MVP, man. Any sports clips in Louisiana, you get that free haircut and be ready to rock and roll, man. Let's get this down to the next division. What are we looking for? I'm looking for Division II Select. So that is gonna be. Is that the Wasserman Invitational?
Yeah, this division. I saw Coach Mahomes just jumped on, man. I'm not gonna disrespect my man like that. So this division here was talking to Coach Holmes early, man. It was different right before the playoff seedings came out. I think the Rain division, I think the district, right? It's kind of funny. Some of them are in Division 2, Division 4, Division whatever, how it goes. So they were getting points for playing teams up, and so they had to redo some of those point systems. So the Grudge was sitting at 16, but they got out of it down to 15 now, so up to 15. So that's kind of how that shaked out. So now you got Rain and Carroll instead of LaGrange.
Man, what a great draw by Lakeem over there doing the math with the pencil, huh, man? Math, algebra 2 finally came into full effect there, man. That's freaking huge. He goes from right next to Wasserman to the furthest he can possibly be. I love that, man. That's smart, man.
I told him when I talked to him, I said, man, I bet you had Karen Hoyt's number on. You were disputing like crazy.
Yeah, he was trying to make the mathin', man. Like they say, man. That's freaking awesome, man. Hey, look, this is what it's all about, man. We absolutely are trying to fuel the fire, get the conversation started, man. I will be the first one to say, and we want to eat crow. Like we want the Arcadia to take a picture with a crystal ball and us be wrong, right? Like we want to be the motivation for anything. All we're trying to do is increase and get more people excited about girls basketball, man. So I love comments like this. I'll be the first one to jump on here, man, and eat crow. Hey, you can give it to me. I'll definitely take it. But let's jump into it, man. Who you got here, man? I think this is just gonna be kind of Wasserman. Again, it's unfortunate for everyone that got the draw on this side. Shout out to Bastrop though, man. Bastrop's done a fantastic job. Just seems like every year, they're in that top 8 seed. Like we talked about, they were 1, 2, 3, and 4 kind of the last 3 or 4 years, man. And here we go again. Bastrop is with an 8 seed. It's unfortunate that they got Wasserman with that same draw. I think Northwest is a team that again has been in this scenario playoff. When you talk about playoff teams in this division, you talk about Bastrop, Northwest. I think that's a fun matchup. I could see Northwest with an upset there. But again, man, you got Wasserman kind of sitting there in the weights, just ready to rock and roll.
And if you look at their side of the bracket, man, they got Carroll, who's right up the street from them. 3-4 minute drive, 5-minute drive, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you got Bastrop, who's, not too far from them. And then you got Mendon, who's, 45 minutes from them, 50 minutes, you know what I mean? So it's, it's Wasserman, that's those other teams that kind of see Wasserman throughout the year are kind of, they don't want to see Wasserman sitting at the 1 and they're 17, 24 and number 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hey, it is what it is, man. But again, I guess I'm looking at a Northwest Bastrop matchup. Maybe they can kind of compete with them for a little bit. But Wasserman's going to be on to defend their title nonetheless, man. We'll jump down to the next half of this bracket. Got the top 4 teams get a bye here. Abbeville sneaks into that 5 seed. Had some people comment earlier, some Abbeville fans. I haven't seen Abbeville. You guys in the comment section, y'all got to kind of let us know there. But Iowa avoids South Bow and Albany. That's all I'm going to say here. We had talked about it in the past. We've been saying, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. Iowa and Sterlington, who are the 3-4, have got to beat Albany and South Bow, which are going to be tough matchups in the quarters, right? I look at this. If I'm Iowa, congratulations. I avoid those matchups. But you got Burley sitting there, right? Burley, like you talked about Burley a lot. Just Coach Shaw does a great job, man. Year in, year out, he's got athletes. He's got kids that play, multiple sports, softball at mostly, but those young ladies are always ready to rock and roll. That's been a team with some top 28 experience, whereas you got Iowa and Abbeville that don't have the top 28 experience. Burley's the only team in this area, in this part of the bracket, that has experience of playing in the quarterfinals. Burley's a dark horse here.
Yeah, Burley's a dark horse, and like I said, if you talk to Coach, talk to him in November, we're down, Coach, we're down. Here he goes again, right? Sitting at 13. Can they go in the Iowa? And like you said, Iowa really doesn't have that experience that perhaps Brusley probably had. Can they go in there and get that upset? I saw a lot of comments in the comments earlier. A lot of people in the comments about Abbeville. I don't want to overlook at them, right? They look like they've been playing some good ball this year. Really have their schedule wise. Played Mandeville, played Northwest, played St. Martinville. You know what I mean? So they really is St. Thomas More. So they didn't play Lafayette early in the year. You know what I mean? So they didn't duck any smoke here. You know what I mean? They probably tested themselves to get that 5 seed. So I think you could easily see Iowa versus Abbey here.
Yeah, and you got, Abbeville hasn't lost a game since January 4th was their last loss. So, I mean, you're looking at almost 2 months from now since they have lost a game. That's definitely huge. I just think Iowa has battle tested themselves a little bit more. Playing Lafayette Christian twice. We keep talking about the matchup against them in South Bow and how that they've got to beat South Bow or Albany, right? They've already beat South Bow. They won that game by 7. So I mean, and they've defeated LaGrange. Like they've beaten some of the top teams kind of in their area on down the line. So I think Iowa is the favorite here. That Burley having the most experience probably scares me a little bit. But if I'm Iowa, at the end of the day, I do like my draw a lot more than having to play South Bow or Albany in the quarterfinals. We'll jump down to the next part of this one here. Again, so we got Sterlington. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and give us a pat on the back, man. Pat on the back for us. We've been talking about this Sterlington South Bow matchups. We talked about the Madison Prep having to get to the 5 seed, and if they didn't, who they would play. That's some things that really we talked about shaking out and end up shaking out, right? So here it is. Here we got Sterlington South Bow. Looks like it's in the quarterfinals. We had some people talking about West Feliciana. Don't sleep on West Feliciana. West Feliciana, man, always gets it done come playoff time. They're well, for whatever reason, they kick it into another gear. I can see a West Feliciana South Bow game. That could be a lot closer than people think as well. What's your thoughts here on this half of the bracket?
Yeah, I'm with you all the way there. Sterlington South Bow here. We know what kind of program South Bow is. But they would have to travel up to Monroe. You know what I mean? Northeast area of the state. You know what I mean? So that's gonna be kind of tough for them. A long way to go up there. So I see people in the comments saying they want to see Wiseman and Sterling in the finals, and then you got another one saying it's Wiseman versus who is the question. You know what I mean? So
that's the real question. That's the real question.
So it's kind of it's gonna be tough, man. They're all fighting to be to try to get us crack at denying Wiseman that 4th championship in a row, man. And it's gonna be a tough task. But we'll see who's up for the challenge.
Absolutely, man. This comment here, man, Coach Courtney, man, she's done a great job. People talk about that. She won a state title at Hathaway, and then she picked up her bags and moved it over to Iowa. And so everyone's kind of like, why or what's the reason or whatever. Her daughter's rocking and rolling there. They've got things rocking and rolling. And it's a testament to her and the people in that area that have believed in her, because she's playing a crap ton of games over the summer, and they've really transition and put themselves in an opportunity here. Can they take advantage of the opportunity? That's still kind of on the table here, but to be the 4 seeds, great spot to be. All the hard work that they've put in. They only have one junior, no seniors. That team's gonna be very, very good for a very long time. I would love to see them make the top 28, see some fresh blood. I think they'd be super excited. They would see where the bar's at with Wassman, which would leapfrog them into another great summer. But yeah, man, I'm excited. And then we get down to the bottom half of this bracket. If I'm Albany, I love this draw. Man, I love this draw. If I'm Albany, if I'm Lagrange, I dodge Wassman. Man, are you kidding me? Iota, the underdog. You know what I'm saying? You can go on the road and upset Lagrange. Then you got North Familiar. North Familiar, we talked about it. Coach has done LeBlanc's done a great job over there. Fantastic job. But they've got a target on their back, right? They haven't played the schedule that really anybody else in this division has. They played one of the lighter schedules. They do have that top seed. You know, I mean, as far as loss, they lost to Oberlin, and they've just won every other game they're supposed to. They lost a bar by 30. You know, so it kind of puts you where you're at. But they've got a target on their back. So Lagrange, Iota, you can see either one of them come into North Vermilion. That would be a dogfight. North Vermilion does advance there. Then you got Lakeshore or Albany. I love Albany's draw right here, man. I'm just gonna go out on record and say it. I love Albany's draw right here. I think Albany with the 7 seed gets out of here and they advance back to the top 28, where they just always seem to find a way to get there.
North Vermilion on upset alert. What?
Yes, sir. Out and early, baby. Out and early. What's your thoughts on some of these other games, man?
Hey, man, I actually think Lagrange can go into North Vermilion and upset them. I actually think they can. Lagrange comes up to Leesville the last week of the year in Leesville, in that tough environment, with that association of officials, and they get out with a 1-point win, right? And so then they had to turn around and play Midland the next day, I think it was the next day or something like that. So I think Coach Holmes did a good job of putting himself, when he crunched those numbers and filed those disputes. I think I think it may have worked in his favor here. And I can see them going in there in that second round and getting the upset on the 2 seed.
So you got them handling Iota with no problem, man.
Yeah. I got them beating Iota and
Iota and Lagrange were supposed to play each other. The game was canceled. This game was supposed to be on February 8th. The game was canceled. We just had to wait. We just had to wait 10 days.
They have to wait to see. Looks like Coach King probably forecasted something and kind of got scared there, probably.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I think that's going to be a lot closer than people think as well. If Iota can score it, I could see Iota sneaking a win out there. But I think whoever wins that game, Iota, Lagrange, they're going to carry that momentum, and they're going to be in a dogfight with North Vermilion. Again, Lagrange has the experience. Albany has the experience. We saw those two teams match up. I think, was it last year? In the quarterfinals. So it'll be cool to see those two teams match up again in the quarterfinals. I could definitely see that happening. I just see Albany as they've got to be when they saw this bracket come out, man, they've got to be super, super excited with the draw here. But I see Albany advancing, and yeah, man, we'll see what else happens, man. We'll jump into the next bracket here, which is the bottom half, man. Again, I want to give ourselves a pat on the back, man. As you get down to this Division II select, we've been talking about Madison Prep was the team to watch. Madison Prep was further down. They ended up winning the district, so they beat U-High and beat Parkview, who are ranked higher than them. But end of the day, Madison Prep is not that 6 or 7. They have the 5 next to their name, so they're going to play Edie White in the quarters. So I think everyone is super excited about that, including Madison Prep. Everyone's probably excited about that except for Edie White. But this bracket kind of fell exactly how we thought. What's your thoughts here on the top half of this bracket right here, man?
Yeah, and I know we were talking about this bracket on last week about the tough draws that probably could come out. And did anybody really want to see Madison Prep? And Madison gets that 5. This is the bracket I think that had the teams that was all in that district tournament, right?
Yeah.
I believe.
No, they
Maybe.
weren't they weren't in the district tournament, but they did play a lot of games late down
Oh,
the
okay, okay, okay. So, Madison getting that 5 is huge. Like you said, if I'm Edie White, I'm looking up like I can play Madison Prep and perhaps the quarters. ULab, I don't what was the score on that Madison Prep ULab um
I think it was a 10-point game. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Yeah, 10-point game.
yeah,
Madison
so
Prep defeated them by 10.
by 10, and you're looking like, God, I got to go through them to at least try to get to the state championship game. You know what I mean? But when you make it to the semis, you got to play who you got to play. You know what I mean? So we could easily say uh, ULab is going to come out of this thing. I haven't seen Frederick Douglass sitting at the 8, so maybe you can talk more about them.
Yeah, I mean Frederick Douglass. Again, with all due respect, girls basketball here in the city, and by city I mean New Orleans, is not as good as it has been. It's probably as down as it's been since I can really remember. And Frederick Douglass just happens to be one of the better teams in the area that's just beating up on everyone else, right? Again, like Sacred Heart, New Orleans, Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Teams like that are winning more games than they're losing. They're not playing a tough schedule. I don't know if they'll be ready for this run here. U-High is going to be light years ahead of them. Buckeye maybe probably played some better teams. Will probably be a little bit more up to speed. Buckeye could defeat Frederick Douglass again. But again, this is U-High. I mean, when you're the 1 seed, man, you're a lot better draw. And I think this is another example right here where we see it. We'll jump down to the next half. Go ahead. You want to lead us off here? Madison Prep, Edie White.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That Madison Prep Edie White, that quarterfinal matchup there. If all things goes to play, I can definitely see Edie White, Madison Prep being the quarterfinal matchup. Does Edie White really want to play Madison Prep? Edie White didn't run from a challenge. They played Vanderbilt Catholic. They played some teams, and so they played terrible and they've played up. You know what I mean? They played some teams up, and it didn't. I can't really say that they really challenged themselves. They did Wolves while Hansville on their thing schedule. So I would have to, as to lean towards Madison Prep in that matchup in the quarterfinal.
Yeah, Madison Prep's just going to be, outside of Vanderbilt Catholic, the best team that Edie White's played. They could be, some foul trouble, rolled ankle away from competing with them. I think Edie White's going to be a little bit younger, less experienced. In the playoff scene here, Madison Prep's a tough draw. We talked about it, man. If Madison Prep would have had a 6 by their name, maybe Edie White could have snuck in there. 6 or 7 where they're playing, the U-High, the Parkviews or something like that. If the bracket had came out like the last time we talked about it, it would have been Madison Prep traveling to Vanderbilt Catholic because Madison Prep was actually a 7 seed. So Edie White's just got to be sick to their stomach, man, to see that they did everything that they could to be the 4 seed, and now they're still stuck with a Madison Prep coming to their place.
Well, you look at who Madison Prep has played. They played Carr. They've played Jackson. They played Huntington. They played Fairview. They played Woodlawn and Baton Rouge. They played Southern Lab, Neville, Lafayette, J.S. Clark. You get what I'm saying? So they're battle tested. They're gonna be ready for anything that comes their way, any style of basketball, liberty. You know what I mean? So I think, like you just said, if I'm Edie White, I'm got to be sick to your stomach to say, dang it, we got to play Madison Prep in the quarters if we take care of business in the first 2 rounds. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. We'll jump down to the bottom half there. So you got, again, Hanneman has done a great job just kind of preparing his girls year in, year out for the opportunity, man. You got Parkview Baptist, which is crazy. They literally almost got rid of that program. And now they've won state titles, competing in the toughest district in this division. And now here they are again with another opportunity to get back to the top 28. A lot of credit, hats off to them. I think Parkview Baptist is going to cruise on into the quarterfinals. You got Peabody, Hannon. Peabody's got some experience as well. Coach does a great job over there. I can see Peabody, Hannon being a tough matchup. Whoever wins that, Parkview Baptist. Parkview just plays like a different style of basketball. And again, playing in that tougher district, man, I think prevails Parkview to get back to the top 28. Again, whenever you're talking about this, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. I don't think Parkview is going to have a hostile environment to go into. Like, it's not going to be a student section. It's going to be hundreds deep. It's not going to be the fan base that is just not there yet. Again, that program almost died a couple years ago. Now, they've done a fantastic job. There will be people there, but it is a winnable place. So you can go on the road and win there. So I could see a Hannon or a Peabody competing with them. But I'm going to give the nod to Parkview just because, I mean, they've been a team we talked about year in, year out, man, the last 3 years.
You said you had Parkview Baptist cruising. I have them steamrolling.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
And, I mean, that would be cool, too, because then we would have, Parkview Baptist versus – right now we're saying Parkview Baptist versus Vanderbilt Catholic, Madison Prep versus U-High. Again, you got 3 teams from the same district that we're projecting to make it on to that next round, man. That is pretty cool. Shout out to them. Shout out to that district. Again, shout out to basketball in the Baton Rouge area, man. You got Woodlawn as well. You got a lot of teams in that Baton Rouge area that's playing some really, really good basketball. And a lot of them are in this division here, man. We'll jump down to the bottom half, man. You go ahead and lead us away right here.
We got Vanderbilt Catholic down here, right? Booker T, no disrespect to them. I haven't seen them. Leesville, I did see them. When it comes down to can Leesville beat a Vanderbilt Catholic, I don't think they can. North Side, I haven't seen them. That's the Lafayette area, right? But at Vanderbilt Catholic, we played them, and they're a tough draw for anybody. And as we said over the weeks, it's like Vandy has not really lost because all their losses have come against top people in the state. And if they get Michaela back, look out. You know what I mean? So any word on whether she's gearing up to go? I know she was warming up. Is she up, ready to go?
I'm hearing she's going to be ready to go. I think, again, man, I really, and at the end of the day, man, I really hope that these young ladies are able to go. So I'm going to speak it into existence, man, between her and Amani, both Division I signees. You worked your whole life to get this opportunity. You make it to, you sign that Division I scholarship. This is supposed to be like super exciting year, no pressure. You're supposed to really enjoy this for both those kids to go down. Just been really, really tough, man. You talked about it before. Vanderbilt not making it last year with the stuff that went down, man, getting pulled out last minute, dude. I think they've got to have a huge chip on their shoulder. What's your thoughts? Does that help or hurt them not having that experience, or does that put a chip on your shoulder? Like what's your thoughts?
Hey, listen, I think it puts a chip on the shoulders for Journey, Michaela, and those kids to try to get back to say we deserved to be there last year. And it unfortunately got taken from us. But what would have happened if we were there? And I was just, while you were talking, I was sitting there thinking, Madison Prep and Vandy. Vandy gets out. Madison Prep automatically goes to the finals to play LCA. When now neither one of them have to deal with LCA this year, right? And so, am I correct? Yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah. You're correct. So now I saw in the comments, will it be Madison Prep, Vandy in this division? It very well could be. You know what I mean? Both of them last year they were 2-3, I think, or something like that. And Vandy gets out and Madison goes in. So it'll be a great matchup for if we see that. I tip my hat towards Vandy, though, if we do.
Yeah, I think Vandy's definitely the team to beat in this division. I mean, even without Charles, I think they can still beat and they can still win it. I think with Charles, they're the hands down favorite. Great comment here, man. Again, guys, anybody that's in the comment section, man, feel free to say anything. Help join the conversation that we're going on here, man. It's a great comment here about Mr. Dustin talking about Leesville. Leesville can definitely go on the road and win at Booker T. No disrespect to Booker T. Booker T has a 1,000-point score as a junior. She's going to be coming back as a senior. Just doesn't have a lot around her. Basketball in New Orleans is not what it has been, but they have been beating all the other teams, right? They did struggle against like Mount Carmel and some of the better top half, top quarter teams, but they've beaten everybody else, right? And that's why they're a 7 seed. But I would think that's going to be a dogfight there. Leesville at Booker T. Booker T can be a tough place to play at, man. If they can get their students to stay there, speaking from experience, whenever their students stay, the football players and everybody else like that, they're freaking fun, man. They get on to you, hollering and screaming and all that. It's a fun place to play at, man. So I would love to see a home playoff game there, and tough matchup with Leesville and Booker T. But I could see that one going either way, man. But Vanderbilt Catholic's gonna be rocking and rolling either way. Either way, man. Shout out to Chuck, man. The best assignment secretary in the area, man. Getting ready for these playoffs, man. Tuning in with us, man. Talk more about the different referee associations and how they call. Okay, look, now this is they're right on cue here, man. We talked about
Coach
this.
Houston.
So for those that do not know, we whenever it gets to the playoff times, you don't get an association from either team, right? So there could be one association that both teams play on, and there could be two different, but you're going to get an association not from either side. So there will be a 3-man crew all from the same association where they will travel to you guys. There should be no boys games to compete with, so it should be some good officiated crews. But again, at the end of the day, man, basketball is officiated slightly different from North Louisiana to South Louisiana. So that will be a good conversation to have with your teams along the way as coaches. And you understand who's going to be there officiating. It's not a bad idea to get some homework on officials from that area, what style of play. But, I mean, I really like how we switched to the 5 fouls per quarter. I think that allows officials, players, everybody to really understand how the game's going to be called in the first quarter, and then after that, the game resets in the second quarter. You're not stuck in the bonus for the whole half. So I don't think that's as big as an issue as it has been, where you could get in foul trouble early, and then you're stuck the whole half in the bonus, or vice versa, But it definitely is something to keep an eye on.
Man, while we're on that subject, and I'm not to try to delay us here, but Coach Houston brought up a good point, you know what I mean? And that's why I think as a coach, it's important that you get your girls around the state to see different associations, because you could get them prepared on how this association called compared to how the one that we're located in are called. Trust me, you look up as a coach, man, there's some association you'd be like, oh, I ain't scheduling the game down there. You know what I mean? So, that's a good question by Coach Houston. Good topic there.
Absolutely. Again, guys, this is presented tonight, and the rest of the way with the first round predictions, second, third round predictions. All of our coverage from now on out will be presented by Sports Clips, man. So make sure you comment below, man. We got a cool little free haircut contest going away. MVP haircut. This is men's haircuts, but again, you can share this with anybody, man. Dads, coaches, brothers, whoever, man. Comment below. All you do to enter the contest is comment MVP, and you'll be entered into the contest, and we'll give away a free haircut, man. They got a cool little app, man. Check it out. It's called Sports Clips, and we'll run a quick little ad.
You may not know where you stand with today's youth, but you always know where you stand with the Sport Clips app haircut tracker that tracks your real-time wait time. It's a game changer.
Yeah, man, shout out to Sports Clips for sponsoring this here for us and giving us an opportunity to bring this to you guys. Let me where did I go? Oh, there we go. Cool, I'm back up. All right, now we go down to the Oakdale Invitational, right? No, we haven't given them enough credit for say they've earned the credit. I'll go out and put it that way. Oakdale's been a team that, since Coach Edwards has gone over there, they've done everything, scratch, clawed, fight, anything they can for opportunities like this. And now here they are with a 1 next to their name, winning a state title, competing for state titles year in, year out, man. They just seem to be one of those big-time teams, man. What's your thoughts on the draw here for the Big O, man?
Yeah, Oakdale got a good draw. It may be a tough one, though, if Mansfield can come out of that bottom side there. Mansfield, well-coached team, going to be scrappy, going to get after you. Coach Neal does a good job with her group. That'll be a good matchup, Oakdale versus Mansfield, if that's the matchup we get. I can see Mansfield getting past Mammoth. Ville Platte and North Port Barrow. Have you seen either one of those?
So I haven't seen Ville Platte, but Ville Platte, did beat Iota. That was the kind of game that I was really watching. Again, Ville Platte's a tough place to play at, man. That style of basketball, that's just it reminds me like an Albany, right? They're a little north of Lafayette. It's a smaller town, but everyone there is going to really rally around. That's going to be a fun environment.
And
So
it
them having the
go ahead.
home game there, I think, gives them a little bit of an advantage there. I think that's going to give them more of the leeway there. Again, you'll probably be up by 5-10 points there, but I don't know if Ville Platte or Mansfield can go on the road and win at Oakdale. Oakdale in the
Well,
quarterfinals, dude. I mean, how many points are you down by whenever you get off the bus?
yeah, and that's what I was just going to say, Chris. Oakdale did play Ville Platte earlier in the year and got them by 26. So yeah, that's a tough one for Ville Platte to try to go on the road into Oakdale and try to win that game. It's going to be some major adjustments having to be made to go on the road to beat them there because you played them there already.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. We'll jump into the next part. Again, man, in order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. So you got to go on the road and win at Oakdale in order to keep them out of going back to Hammond. But Division 3, non-select, second half here. Go ahead and take us away, man. You got Pine, Doyle. Got some teams been playing red hot.
Well, man, listen, Doyle, I think maybe 3, 4 years in a row, 5 years have gotten a top four in the state playoffs. They've built a program to where it just keeps rolling. Next grows up, keeps rolling. Coach does a good job with the program, right? Pine kind of played sitting at the 5 seed. Pine, who they play this year? They played Doyle already. They lost to Doyle 48-66.
Yeah,
So
Pine was red hot early. Pine was like a 2 seed, maybe even like a 1. At times, have kind of cooled off a little bit. But shout out to Pine, man. Again, like to see Pine girls basketball with a 5 next to her name, man. That's really really cool. Again, we talk about. I got a comment here, man. With just giving Port Bear a shout out, man, for making the playoffs, right? Like it's a lot of these teams, man. It's cool, man. You'll see. We'll talk about Sacred Heart a little bit later. They're a 2 seed, man. It's just some new teams, Iowa, some new teams that we're not used to seeing, in the playoffs or with high seeds, man. So, regardless of what happens here in the playoffs, man, you set yourself up for a
yeah,
great run there.
and don't overlook Pine, man. Like I said, look like they gave Albany all they can handle the last game of the season on Saturday, 58-61. So if you can go into Albany and do that, yeah, I give you a punch of chance. I give you a chance to go, up against Doyle and at least compete in the game.
Yep. And you got Church Point. Church Point made the top 28 last year, man. Granted, their best player got banged up. The game before she's gone on to college, but that's a team with some experience, man. 21 team going at Berwick. You could say they could be on upset alert there. Church Point could definitely compete with somebody like that. Berwick's lost 2 of the last 3, kind of limping into the playoffs, for lack of a better words. You can see an upset there, and then again, no disrespect to Pine, but whenever that Berwick or Church Point could get some little steam going on there. Pine's not used to really being this deep in the playoffs. That's where you could see a double-digit team jump into the quarterfinals. The winner of that Berwick Church Point game there. Then Richwood, Richwood's got some athletes, got a young lady that can put the ball on the floor, got a young lady that can score 1-on-1. But Doyle, man, Doyle was just red hot, dude. What's your thoughts on Doyle, man? Can anybody I mean, is Doyle the favorite to win in this one? I
I,
mean,
I,
you got Oakdale. Is Doyle the other team that could compete with Oakdale, or what's your
I,
thoughts?
I think they can. Man, Dole beat French Settlement. They beat Madison Prep. Uh, they beat Saint Amant. I had to go on. You know what I mean? So I think Dole is well prepared for this run that they got in front of them. And they looking and saying, if anybody can go beat Oakdale, we've proven that we can play with some of the best teams in the state. Let's go beat them. So I'll definitely see. Um, Renatus, a very much respected coach throughout the state, but they're gonna have their hands full there in the semis if it's them and Dole.
So you're saying Doyle's going to upset Oakdale? Is that what we're
I
going on
didn't I
record?
did not say that, and you're not gonna have Renata calling my phone. So yeah, yeah.
But it is a tough draw. Like I guess that's what we're trying to say, man. Like I think Oakdale matches up better against Oak Grove. I think Oakdale matches up better against French Settlement, Westlake. I think Oakdale matches up better against the other teams not named Doyle. Doyle's style of play, up and down, play very fast paced, shoot the three ball. Again, you've got young ladies that are playing softball and other sports. You know, they're just used to winning. They're used to winning. Oakdale's used to winning. Both these, that's going to be a very, very tough game. And arguably, you could arguably say that's the state championship game right there. Whoever comes out of the Oakdale Doyle is definitely going to be favored. Either way, if Doyle wins, I think they're favored over the bottom half. If Oakdale wins, I think they're favored over the bottom half as well. But like we always say, man, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. So I'm going Oakdale, man, until somebody else proves me wrong there. But we'll jump down to the next half of the bracket. French Settlement and Westlake, man. We talked about it over and over again. Again, I want to give us a pat on the back, man. We've been all over this. French Settlement and Westlake, that's not a matchup that I wanted to see if I'm French Settlement. For whatever reason, I just cannot get over that hump of Westlake, man. That's tough, 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 tough to see. As Westlake's knocked out French Settlement multiple years here. It looks like they're going to be on a matchup again. I think Springfield could compete with Westlake here in the second round. Westlake does have the Twins there. They're playing some good basketball. It's going to be a dogfight. French Settlement has no seniors. We talked about that again. Westlake has the Twins. They are seniors, right? It's going to be a lot on the line for both teams here. What's your thoughts, man, on this half of the bracket?
Yeah, man. French Settlement probably got a tough draw here. You know what I mean? More than likely, we can get past Manning and Chancellor Kaplan. Springfield sitting there at the 11, but you got to look and say Westlake sitting at the 6, right? So I think that'll be a good matchup. But I'll go on record and says French Settlement get over the hump. I'll say they break into the top 28, and they beat Westlake to get in. So I've seen French Settlement. I think they play a style of ball that can Westlake match that style. You know what I mean? Got a good guard, got a couple pieces around her that they'll make it interesting.
Yep. And I mean, I challenged a young lady a couple years ago at French Settlement that promised me that she would make it to the top 28, and she wouldn't be there as a fan. She'd be wearing a jersey, right? So now it's time. It's time to put up or shut up at the end of the day, man. Like you've set yourself up with a home game against Westlake again for another year. Last year they had to go on the road. The time you put in, the winds, the summer, everything comes down at the end of the day to this game, man. And Westlake is going to play well. They're going to travel. They're going to be well coached. French Settlement's going to have to show up. The crowd's going to have to show up. Right now, if I'm French Settlement, of course you want to take care of that second round game, but you're already trying to rally the troops to have everybody on board there to give yourself the best opportunity to take out Westlake. Because Westlake is not going to lay down, man. That is a tough, tough draw. I'm really excited about that game. I would love to go broadcast that game, but the freaking unfortunately the internet inside that gym is terrible. So I would not be able to stream it, but that's gonna be a great game, man. I think Fred Samuel's gonna show up. I think Westlake's gonna show up, and again, just like Denham and Slidell, third year in a row, they're gonna be meeting up in the playoffs, man. That's got to be really fun, almost like a rivalry from across the state, which is really really cool. With so much on the line, it's gonna be fun, man. I'm excited to see that. Springfield is very very well coached. He does a fantastic job there. He'll definitely have them prepared. I think he just lost too much from last year. They just won't have enough to compete with Westlake this year. So yeah, we'll see a rematch, man. French Summit versus Westlake, and that's gonna be one we'll be talking about here for the next week or so. We'll jump into next part here, the bottom half. Oak Grove, man. Shout out to Oak Grove. Oak Grove, Caroline Bradley, top post player in her class in the world. We talked about it. Set themselves up for the best possible road to the top 28. What's your thoughts here?
I think Oak Grove is going to be just too much for everybody here. When you go to look at these Kinder, Winfield, Jenna, Port Allen, Marksville, Red River schedule, I think Oak Grove and Caroline Bradley spanning 6 foot whatever. You know what I mean? It's going to be too much for. You're going to have to throw everything at the kitchen sink at them to kind of get past them. But I think Oak Grove just got too much for anybody in this side of the bracket.
Absolutely. I mean, if for a girls basketball fan that we both are, that I am, and like when I look at this part of the bracket, I'm thankful. I'm glad, man. I just want more people to see Caroline Bradley, man. Like, she's 6'5". She holds every Division I offer under the sun. Go look her name up on social media, Twitter, and everything, man. Like, she will win gold medals for Team USA. She will play in the WNBA. She will play college basketball, hopefully for LSU, but for whoever the hell she wants to play for. She is the best post player in her class, in the 27 class in the entire world. And she's from Louisiana, man. Like, she will be a McDonald's All-American. We've been talking about it since she was in 8th grade. Now, they didn't make it last year. There was a lot of buzz whenever she made it her first year. A lot of people saw her and all that stuff. She's going to bring out the college coaches, but it's just cool to see everyone in the state, young girls, fans of it, just to see Caroline Bradley. Because I guarantee a lot of people that are on this broadcast that are watching, myself included, have not seen her play this year. So I'm really excited. I'm rooting for them to at least make it to the top 28. I think they do not match up well against the other teams, 3, 4, and 1. But I love their draw, man, and I'm excited. I'm definitely an Oak Grove fan for the next couple of weeks, man. Just I hope they make it down there to the top 28. Let's jump into the next one, man. Guys, appreciate everybody for joining us, man. Comment below. Let us know who you're rooting for. We got a couple more divisions to knock out here, and then we get to save the best for last. But Lafayette LCA Invitational, man. What you got here, man? What's your thoughts?
LCA Invitation, my man. Coach Rogers, Taylor in the group, done a good job. Life after Jada Richard, right? And they shown everybody, hey, we're still number 1 in the state in our division. So that don't happen by just luck. You know what I mean? That's a program, a coach demanding his kids and his kids buying in and saying we know who Jada Richard is and was to our program, but she had some help too. You know what I mean? Yep. So yeah, it's just Lafayette Christian in this top side all the way, man.
Yeah, man. This. Again, no disrespect to everybody else. In order to beat a man, you got to beat the man, dude. Shout out to Episcopal, man, Calvary Baptist, against some teams that we talked about that haven't been, competing at the higher level for as long as the LCA, man. But to see some of those high numbers next to their names is definitely cool to see. LCA is just kind of cruise through this half of the bracket. Honestly, they're going to cruise through the whole bracket, but we talked about it here. You got De La Salle, Dunham. De La Salle dropped a few. They fell a couple games here. Again, Dunham's part of that really good basketball there in Baton Rouge area. But we talked about it a little bit before. I'll definitely talk about it again. St. Thomas Aquinas and Coach Amber Donez over there and what they got going on. She's won state titles as a player. They competed against U High last year in the semifinals, gave them everything they could. Their best player transferred to Slidell, but that is a team when it comes time for the playoffs that I will not want to see, especially if they can get a win under the belt against Pope John Paul, get a little bit of momentum headed into that next round, man. That's a team that I could see as a double-digit seeded team can make the top 28. I think there's a couple double-digit seeded teams. We talked about it. St. Thomas Aquinas, A-Meet, some teams that can make some noise here. This division, as you get past LCAs, is a lot closer jumbled up than people believe, or at least than some of the other ones. But again, Dunham, man, playing some really good basketball in that Baton Rouge area. Their schedule's just not as tough as everybody else. You got anything you want to say on this part of the bracket here?
Oh man, I think we're like I said, De La Salle, Durham. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna be tough for whoever gets the LCA.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, Coach Mike's done a great job. He's got some young kids there. Dunham wins games, so like they're used to winning basketball games. So I think they do have that nod. They're just not as challenged as some of these other guys. So we'll get down to the next part. You got Rose Pine, man. Rose Pine, A-Meet, North Lake Christian. Again, we talked about it. St. Thomas Aquinas beat North Lake Christian. North Lake Christian is that 6th seed, man. St. Thomas Aquinas is a scary 12 seed. What's your thoughts on this part of the bracket here?
You can't sleep on Rose Pine. You cannot sleep on Rose Pine at all. You know what I mean? And coaches, they won the state title here. Been in this, they got the experience there. I could easily see them getting to this part of the bracket, to the quarters, and to Hammond. You know what I mean? When you've got that experience and girls look forward to going there every year, they're gonna lock in. They're gonna rock and roll. I don't see anybody in the top bracket right here that can knock Rose Pine off. No disrespect to anybody at Meet. I know what kind of coach she is, but I just don't see anybody that's gonna knock Rose Pine off in this side of the bracket.
I mean, A-Meet does limp into the playoffs, losing 4 of the last 5. But again, they're playing against Pine, Doyle, Albany, like some really good teams. With no disrespect to the people in this division here, the teams that they're losing to are a lot better than outside of LCA, maybe in Rose Pine, are a lot better than those teams. So A-Meet will be able to have a puncher's chance. Again, if they can win one game, beat North Lake Christian. I would like to see an A-Meet versus Rose Pine in the quarterfinals. I think both teams would travel really well. That would be fun atmosphere, man. Definitely be a really, really fun atmosphere. I guess it's down to the bottom half of the bracket, man. Again, man, shout out to Academy Sacred Heart in New Orleans, man. Like I said, where that programs came from where they are, or where they came to where they are, man. You know, known as a track school, really, known as a as a cross country juggernaut. Volleyball, they've been really good. They just have not been good at basketball, man. So for them to have a 2 seed next to their name, I think they've got a great draw here. Newman losing, their 6'4" signee to UTSA. She transferred to Edna Carr. They're young, so that's a good draw as well. That's somebody that they can beat. Menard, like you've seen them. They've got some experience. I mean, Menard's got the most experience in this area. Could they make a run? What's your thoughts here on this half of the bracket? Menard, A-Meet, St. Thomas Aquinas, all 3 teams with some experience in double-digit seeds, man. We could see one of those 3 teams make a run.
We could, but man, yeah, I hadn't seen Sacred Heart to know enough about them. You can see Menard trying to make some noise, but I don't think they'll compete with Newman. It's shout out to Newman. You lose tonight being in the car, and you steal the 7th seed. You know what I mean? So shout out to them. It's gonna be tough. This is down your way, right? These teams are down your way. Yeah, all those teams.
I mean, your way. Sacred Heart has beat Newman by like 25, 30 points already.
Well, there you go.
So I think Sacred Heart's the favorite to come out of here. I would say Menard and their experience could maybe be the only team that can kind of keep them out of there. That would be cool to see, man. Sacred Heart making it to the top 28, man. if I'm Sacred Heart, I've got to love this draw. This is a fantastic draw. Like a team that you've beaten already by 25 and 30 points, and a Menard team that lost a lot from last year. Like, granted, Menard's got the experience. They made it last year, but they lost a lot. So, can the new kid on the block make it happen? Again, I keep talking about it, that quarterfinal game. This is another home game for a New Orleans team that is on the same night as Muses. That game, 1,000% cannot be played at Sacred Heart on the 27th. That game will be played on the 26th or will be moved to a new location because that is
help me out, Chris. What's on the 27th down there?
that's the Mardi Gras parade called Muses, and it is in Uptown, the same location as Sacred Heart. Like, you've got to be off of campus by 4 p.m. or you're gonna be trapped. Like, no after school activities type thing. So again, that's gonna be something to keep an eye on, man. Like, just something little and small like that can kind of lean one way or the other. Like we talked about with the referee, some little under the table type things that you don't really think about. Mardi Gras in New Orleans is definitely different, man. Definitely different. Let's jump into the next one, man. This is the one that you had talked about. You kind of ruffled a couple feathers, man, in the Lakeview Arcadia, area here, man. You might as well keep the pot stirring while we're at it, man. Go ahead and lead us off here, man. What's your thoughts?
Hey, listen, man. I rocks with both of those coaches. It's all love on my end with both of those. And we're just talking straight basketball, right? From a coach standpoint, straight basketball. Lakeview ends up with the 1 seed here. We at one minute we thought, it was going to be Arcadia with the 1 seed, but Lakeview ends up with it. Plain Dillon, they're up and coming. What people don't understand about Plain Dillon, man, they have a lot of talent. And those sisters that they have a junior guard. Man, they have a lot of talent. If they could all ever put it together, they could make some noise in this division. Unfortunately, though, they're gonna run into a buzzsaw with against Lakeview with Timberland Washington and Desire Johnson. You know what I mean? And the other kid that they had. I see Lakeview all the way in this top. Lake Arthur, maybe just too young right now. And so we'll go Lakeview coming out of the quarters into the top 28 on this side.
Absolutely, man. I agree with everything you're saying there, man. Lakeview's just, adding that piece of Johnson, man, just puts them on another level. Got Timberland Washington, one of the best two-way guards in the state. Scored 2,000 points in high school. Elite on-ball defender. Just on a mission, man. I think they're going to be on a mission and ready to rock and roll. Arcadia going back-to-back, or is it going to be Lakeview with the upset, man? That's going to be a fun. I really hope we get the opportunity to kind of see that. Again, man.
I think, Lakeview, Arcadia, it's like we've been saying all night. Yes, Lakeview's the number 1 seed, but to be the man, you got to beat the man, right? And Arcadia is the man. So, it's going to be the bulk of the load, and the monkey is going to be on Timberland Washington back. Desire Johnson is a champion. She knows what it feels like to win 2 in a row, right? With Northwood Lena, right? So can she help Timberland Washington get over that hump? I like that duo,
yeah.
but you gotta beat Coach Curry, DeAsia, Alexander, and the rest of the crew. Ariana Williams. Nobody talks about Ariana Williams and what she does for Arcadia, man. It's just for her transferring over from Gisland Coleman to Arcadia has just put them in another stratosphere, right? And so they're able to compete with a lot of people because of what she does at the point guard level. So Lakeview it's not going to be easy for Lakeview, and to be the man, you got to beat the man. So the monkey's going to be on Lakeview's back.
Absolutely, man. I mean, and I remember like it was yesterday, man, with Arcadia coming out to the state championship, taking a picture of the state championship trophy with the team and having the crystal ball X'd out as we had Arcadia wrong, man. But now it's the other way around, man. Target is on Arcadia's back, I think. So I think that's what we're kind of talking about here. Lakeview although they're the 1 seed, they are the underdog in my mind as well. And like you said, I think Arcadia is the team to beat here. Will Lakeview have enough? I don't know. We'll definitely see. And a lot of people are talking about White Castle, man. I think we talked about it already. White Castle, Maryville, 2 teams that I really like to see have a shooter's chance, man. And I will say, again, we talked about a couple different things. Mardi Gras in New Orleans, referees, some different associations. When you get to Hammond, you got to be able to shoot the 3 ball. And if you can't, it's a little bit harder to shoot on that depth perception on that big court, right? So if you do rely on shooting like Maryville and White Castle do, sometimes it can be really good, sometimes it can be really bad. But I think they do have a puncher's chance. I think Maryville and White Castle would definitely have a puncher's chance at knocking off either one of those teams. But here in this part of the bracket, man, you got Maryville there. I mean, no one's talking about Midland, man. I mean, we're just slipping right over Midland, man. What's your thoughts on this part of the bracket, man? You ain't said a word about Midland yet, man.
Well,
Nobody in the comments talking about Midland. Midland sitting here at 5, and everybody just forgot about them, man. What's your thoughts?
Midland, man, not to look over Midland, but if you go back to Midland's last few games, man, I think they kind of got the short end of the stick. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get back to their schedule. I can't remember who they played in their district that last game before they played Lakeem at LaGrange.
Yeah, pull that up. But I want to give a quick shout out, man. This is a great comment. Again, guys, comment anything like this. Definitely helps us continue to grow the platform and helps with the conversation, man. Shout out to East Feliciana. Won their first district title ever, man. That is huge. Got a sophomore named Dunn averaging nearly 30, man. That's awesome, man. Love to see it. East Feliciana, man. You got a game versus East Bow. East Bow won some games last year. So that can be a dogfight. Whoever wins that, you got Maryville. Again, Maryville relies on one lady really scoring a lot and a lot of outside shooting. It's just going to be a tough place to play at. Could definitely give you a lot of experience, though. So, congratulations, East Feliciana. Go ahead on Midland.
Yeah, Midland, man, they played Lafayette Renaissance, and who didn't win any games, and it killed their PowerPoints. And they were sitting at 4, I believe, maybe 3, if I'm not mistaken, and they dropped just by playing that game. Of course, they had to because that's their district. And so that's why they play LaGrange and try to get back to the 4 and didn't. And so I think just by the sheer draw of their schedule, having to play Lafayette Renaissance when they did, kind of put them in a predicament with Midland. But again, we've always ranted and raving about Midland's bigs, right? So they have a chance to go in anywhere with the 2 bigs that they have and the athletes they have and compete with anybody. They draw Ringo. I'm from, my dad's people from Ringo, but they don't have a shot of beating Midland. You know what I mean? So, and then you have West St. Mary and Jonesboro Hodge. Midland's going to go right into the quarterfinals, and you Maryville. But talking in just basketball earlier today, someone told me, don't be surprised if Maryville gets upset. So I was like, well, there you go. So you could easily look at Midland on walking, even though she couldn't get back to the 4 seed, could easily get back to the top 28.
Yeah, when we talked about Hamilton Christian being a dark horse in their division, the next division we'll cover. But Hamilton Christian defeated Maryville last game of the season by 18. So I mean, Maryville has definitely won a lot of games that they're supposed to win, which is why they have the record that they have. Got some tough losses to Tioga, Pickering, Hamilton Christian, Leesville, Buckeye. Are they ready for the Midland? Midland's ready, dude. Like, Midland playing LCA multiple times. Midland's going to be ready. I think Midland's the favorite to come out of this part of the bracket. I think Midland will rock and roll. And then we'll see another little rematch, man. We'll have Midland versus LCA again in that semifinals, man. That'll be another one. Especially once you get to the big court, man. Once you get to the big court, you don't have a girl by the name of Jada Richard where when shit hits the fan, you just can give her the ball and she can go score a bucket. How is LCA gonna handle? Midland's got everything to win. LCA's got everything to lose, right? LCA is supposed to win that.
You mean Lakeview?
Lakeview, you're right. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm jumping into the LCA. I'm throwing LCA. I'm looking at the wrong bracket.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
like Midland's gonna be experienced and ready to rock and roll for this division, man. They're gonna be ready to rock and roll. It's gonna be fun, man. I would like to see Midland make it. I think they do match up really well with Lakeview. Lakeview has the edge in guards. They do have a big. Midland has two bigs. So that's definitely gonna be a fun game, man. I would love to see that one. Let's jump into the bottom half here. A lot of people talking about White Castle, man. White Castle has a shooter's chance. They talked about it already. Lincoln Robinson. Unfortunately, the young lady transferred from Southern Lab, man. They would have three guards as well. But man, White Castle's tough, dude. White Castle has, two really, really good guards that can fill it up, can get hot, can score, 20, 30 points on any given night, and can really shoot it from the three ball. I think White Castle, especially new facility. I think the new facility is open this year. If not, man, they got a beautiful gym that's gonna be rocking and rolling over there. They're gonna be on and popping, man. They travel well, especially for small classification. I think White Castle rolls through this little division here, through this section here, and they'll be back in the top 28 again. Another team's back in the top 28 that we talked about. What's your thoughts on this little part of the bracket here? Grand Lake,
Yeah.
Logansport.
Yeah, Logansport has a chance. They have guard that they'll get after of you, but when we talk about White Castle and what they do, they competed with Walker early in the season. No matter what you hear about that game, but they competed there, and so that's going to give them some confidence rolling in, saying, "Hey, we compete with the big dogs. Let's go try to win this thing." So I got White Castle as well. Give Logansport a chance, but I think, like you said, White Castle has a shooter's chance.
I don't know much. That's a great comment here. I don't know much about either one of the teams. I haven't seen them play. That's obviously a game to kind of keep an eye on. I think Grand Lake kind of limps into the playoffs here, losing 4 of the last 5. Can they compete with the Logansport? Whoever does win that game, I just think White Castle's got the experience, man. White Castle's got the experience here. They're going to kind of cruise through this one. And then we jump down to the bottom half. Again, Oberlin was a team that we've been talking about. A lot of teams that we've been talking about having shooters' chances, being in the mix here. Oberlin can flat out shoot it, but with that, you can win a quarterfinal game, or you can really outshoot yourself in the first round. You can lose a first round game. What's your thoughts here? Can anybody compete with the defending state champs here in Arcadia, or are they just going to kind of cruise on through?
Arcadia, gritty team again. We just, as I just spoke about them earlier, man. I think, Coach Curry probably wouldn't want me to say this, but I think they'll cruise through here, right? I know she want to keep her team focused and focus on one opponent at a time, but I don't see anybody going into Arcadia in the Bienville Parish and beating them like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think they got a great draw here. East Iberville, it's good to see them there. They won state titles in the past with Coach Mark, man. He's gone on to Texas. West St. John's been good in the past as well. Just a lot of teams that just aren't used to playing in that top 28, the quarterfinal round games. Oberlin's got a shooter's chance. I think that's kind of the only team that could really give them any type of a run here. But I think Arcadia's just kind of at another level. Yeah, that's a good point right here. Number 5 can really shoot the ball. We got 2 people back to back talking about number 5 from Oberlin, and that's what I'm talking about, man. You got to shoot his chance, and that's really all you kind of really want whenever you get to this. So that's definitely there's a scouting report right there. If you're Arcadia or East Iberville or anybody coming down the line, man, check out number 5 for Oberlin. Make sure you keep a hand up for sure. I'm looking for the next one. I think I might have missed one, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna have to comment through ourselves, the Southern Lab one. But before we get to the Southern Lab, guys, again, comment below. All you gotta do to enter for free haircuts, all you gotta do is comment MVP. We'll take everyone that commented MVP from now until Thursday. We'll put you into a little drawing, and then we'll draw one person who will be announced live on our next stream. So shout out to Sports Clips. They are sponsoring tonight as well as the rest of the way here. It's men's haircuts, but again, you can give this to anybody, dad, brother, coach, whoever it is. They do a great job there, man. Sit down, catch some good games, get your haircut, massage, hot towel, all that good stuff, man. Comment below sports clips, and if you haven't already, make sure you download their app. We're gonna run a quick ad here. You can check it out. We'll come back and talk about some.
You may not know where you stand with today's youth, but you always know where you stand with the Sport Clips app haircut tracker that tracks your real-time wait time. It's a game changer.
Cool, man. Again, guys, comment MVP. That's all you got to do. We got somebody right here commented already. All you got to do is comment MVP, and you'll be put into that drawing. Go ahead. What you got?
Hey, man, she can't win. She can't win. That's my
No.
mom right there, man.
Yeah,
That's my mom.
hey, that's all right. Anybody can win, man. You can give that thing away, man. Shout out to
mom,
man, for tuning in and support, man. Shout out to Miles, man. That's awesome. For the next one, for whatever reason, I skipped over Southern Lab, so we're just gonna kind of go verbally off of that one. You got Southern Lab. They'll take on the winner of Catholic, Point Capee, Sacred Heart. McGee, St. Mary's, and then Pickering also gets a bye there. What's your thoughts there on the top half of that? Again, we're in Division 4 Select. So what's your thoughts there, man? Southern Lab, in my opinion, is the most well-rounded team, well-coached, night in, night out, man. Tough team to play. I think they're going to cruise through here easily.
Yeah.
But anybody else that you think that kind of compete with them?
I saw somebody in the comments earlier that said the same thing and kind of agreed with them, and they went Southern Lab Invitation. You know what I mean? So, we kind of agree with the person in the comments there. Like, Southern Labs got the guards, Foreman, Patney, the kid that came over from White Castle. I think, they're just a three-headed monster that's ready to roll. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be hard for anybody in this top division, this top part, to kind of check them or deal with them.
Yeah, I mean, we got Pickering. We talked about them a little bit. Again, shout out to a lot of the people in that area, man. They always put on for Pickering, man. Pickering has played some good basketball kind of down the stretch. They did lose to Rose Pond by 5, so that is a style of basketball that's similar to Southern Lab. Maybe not as the same as 1 through 5 that Southern Lab does have, but it's a similar style, right? So they could compete. They could be ready for that. Pickering probably be the closest that I could say there. And then we got some people in the comments talking about J.S. Clark, man. J.S. Clark's been there, done that. They've been a team. We'll get down into that half of the bracket as that's on the bottom half there. J.S. Clark's a team that's competed for state title, has won state titles. Hamilton Christian's going to be a team that has competed for titles, but lost a lot, but also will be a team that will be on the rise here soon. Then you got Cedar Creek, man. Cedar Creek with a ton of transfers from Benton. Avery Ryan is the best big in this division. And whenever you have a Brittany Burton, you see it with Wassman, that definitely helps a lot, right? Whenever you have an Avery Ryan, a Division I post player, where you can throw the ball inside and you can score, it definitely helps a lot. We've seen Foreman have a lot of success posting up smaller guards. That may not be the issue whenever you have Avery Ryan down there. Who is going to defend Avery Ryan from Southern Lab? They don't have a true big. Is that a team that could compete with the Southern Lab? Obviously the guards that they do have aren't at the level of Southern Lab, but they do have the big time experience of playing in y'all's district, right? Y'all's district has been tough for quite some time. So they do have some experience whenever it comes to that.
I just think, man, will the guards from Cedar Creek be able to match Patney and Foreman? You know what I mean? We could talk about Avery Ryan, and she's going to be big time for that game, if that's the game that we get. But do you have those guards that will be able to handle the pressure of Patney? We know what kind of on-ball defender she is. Probably one of the best. I'm not going to say the best, but at least one of the best. She's in the argument for the best on-ball defender in the state. Her and Timberland Washington and Clay from Walker, right? So she's gonna get after of them. Are they gonna be able to handle her pressure that she's gonna be at? And we know what Foreman can just light it up and put it in the bucket, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, and Coach Cheney's done a fantastic job. I said it last time. She gets my vote for Coach of the Year. regardless of classification. Just what she's done, challenging her team, just putting her team out there night in, night out to prepare for this moment right here. Looking at the bottom half of the bracket, man, I'm excited about the other teams that could be competing against them. You got J.S. Clark. Again, we talked about Hamilton Christian. Hamilton Christian made a huge jump. Hamilton Christian jumped into that 7th seed, so now they're going to be, traveling on the road to where if they do win against St. Martin's, they're going to travel on the road to play against the Cedar Creek. Hamilton Christian has 3 young ladies that will definitely play college basketball, if not 4, 5. So they're just young, right? They've got kids that can play at the next level. Will they have what it takes to go into a Cedar Creek and win? Cedar Creek, while they don't have the experience as far as winning and competing at Cedar Creek, man, they've got the experience from y'all's district, man. So they're definitely gonna be ready to rock and roll. That's a game that I love to see. Hamilton Christian, Cedar Creek. That's a great matchup. That is not a 7 versus 2. That's more of a 3 versus 2 or a 4 versus 2. I think Hamilton Christian is the 4th best team in this division. So that's a tough draw if I'm Cedar Creek. J.S. Clark, I think, has a better draw, even though they're at the 3 seed. I love J.S. Clark's draw. We see all the comments and the support that they get, man. I love their draw. I think they'll cruise on through, with the experience that they have. Shout out to them, man. Going through, I think they're going through 4 coaches in 5 years, whatever it is, man. They've done a fantastic job, man. That is so cool. That a shout out to the parents, to the kids, everybody sticking together, man. I'm rooting for them, man. I don't really like to pick sides or whatnot, man, but I'm rooting for them, man, just to get that experience and making it back to the top 28. And whatever happens. But I hope to see them at Hammond, man, and I really like their draw. What's your thoughts on the bottom half of the bracket?
Hey, you're absolutely right. I agree with everything you said. That's nothing there. J.S. Clark, hats off to them, man, with the situation they're dealing with. And, it'll come down, in my opinion, as you said, to Creek and J.S. Clark. And, guards win games, man. Guards win games. I think in that game, Avery Ryan will play a lot of he will be big time in that game, because does J.S. Clark have the big to match her? I think that's what it'll come down to.
Hamilton Christian is definitely a great dark horse. You see here by Dion. Don't be surprised if Hamilton Christian makes a run, man. Like, Hamilton Christian may not be there this year, or they may be there this year, man. They've got the talent for sure. They're probably one of the most talented, if not the most talented, young teams in the state, man. So they got the best 8th grader. They've got one of the best freshmen. I mean, they've got some talent, man. They're definitely going to be a team that's going to rock and roll. Lady Warriors next 5 years. I wouldn't be surprised, man. I would not be surprised at all. They're definitely – you would love to see it, man. Again, you want to see teams like that, Iowa, Sterlington, teams like that. You want to see them punch their ticket early. Or if not, you're going to end up being like French Settlement, where if French Settlement doesn't do it this year, then all the eggs are in the basket, next year, right? So it's like I would say it again, freshmen become sophomores, sophomores become juniors, juniors become seniors, and that shit happens fast, man. Like, before you know it, man, you got Dakota Howard in there as a freshman. Now she's a senior, man. No more Dakota Howard next year, man. What's Parkway going to do, man?
Tell me about it.
Nah, man. Shout out to everyone in this division, man. This is a fun, sneaky division. Although Southern Lab is clearly ahead of everyone, the other teams in this division aren't that far behind. And, you got J.S. Clark, Cedar Creek, and Hamilton Christian. Those 3 teams, despite being in the smallest division, could definitely upset some teams. So it's going to be fun to watch, man. It's going to be fun to watch coming down the road. Lady Warriors, man, you've been warned. Lady Warriors putting people on upset, man. Putting people on upset alert already. Again, guys, if you haven't already, man, comment below MVP. All you do is just comment below just like that there. Comment MVP. You'll be entered into a contest. Free haircut. That's an MVP haircut. Shout out to Sports Clips. They're presenting and providing us this opportunity here. So we'll be rolling with them for the rest of the way throughout the playoffs. And each night they'll be giving away a free haircut. So we'll be knocking out the haircut for who won for the next time. But this is men's haircuts. But you can give it away, man. Give it to a brother, dad, coach, whoever you want. It's good for any free haircut at any sports club in the state of Louisiana. Let's get us down to the next one, man. You want to go C before we go B or what? Saying the best
Yeah,
for
do that.
last.
Let's go C to B.
C before we go B, man. So again, shout out to everyone for tuning in, man. If you haven't already, click that. Type in MVP, man. Give us a shout out.
Well, Kid Ray
Uh,
in Class C, he got 12 buys, I believe, right?
12 buys, man. Class C, man. What you got, man? What you looking like right here?
And on Thursday night, looks like they only have Saline versus Evans. They have Emar versus Johnson Bayou, Claiborne Christian versus Harrisonburg, and Hackenberry versus First Baptist Christian. So those four games is all they have on Thursday night, and then everybody else is already into the second round. It's a matter of you got Simpson, who we ranted and raved about, and I think they'll push on through no matter who comes out, Saline and Evans. You know what I mean? And then you go Pleasant Hill Family Christian.
Yep.
I would probably have to go Simpson versus Family Christian there. I've seen Pleasant Hill. I talked to Coach. He's kind of nicked up. He's banged up a little bit, and maybe they could get healthy before the 24th. You know what I mean? So if they do, then they could give Family Christian a run for their money. Got a real good guard, and as we say, guard wins games, right? But I would go Simpson and Family Christian out of this one.
Again, man, Family Christian's super young, graduated a lot. Coach's daughter had a transfer go out, had another young post player that went on to play college basketball. So they lost a lot from the team that made it to the top 28. But at the end of the day, man, you want to win games, and they've only lost one game since December 12th, and that was a long time ago. So they've won some games. They've been here, done that, got that T-shirt. That is a team to kind of keep an eye on. I think Simpson is clearly the better team there. But Family Christian's got some youth, some talent. They got a young lady, super young, showing up scoring 1,000 points before she's even in high school. So you definitely want to get a scouting report down there and put somebody on her and try to stop her. Simpson's battle tested though. Family Christian has won a lot of games. Young team with a lot easier schedule, which makes perfect sense. But they've won a lot of games. Simpson's just more battle tested for the run here. I think Simpson rocks and rolls. I would love to see a Family Christian versus Simpson game just to kind of see where exactly Family Christian is at on this season. Then we get into the next part, man. Phoenix, man, Reeves. We talked about it. I don't want to see Phoenix if I am anybody in this division, man. Guys in the comments, I haven't heard it officially. Would definitely want to check into that Phoenix versus Hornet game. Is Serenity back? The big post player that Phoenix has. She would be arguably the best post player in this division. Simpson's definitely got somebody that can compete with her, but Phoenix is a little bit older, more seasoned. Serenity is be very, very physical, powerful matchup for anybody in this division. They are a 5 seed without her. Man, if she's back rocking and rolling, man, that's going to be tough. Go ahead.
And Phoenix have battle tested themselves, man. Playing North Shore, playing Zachary, playing Warren Easton, Slidell, you know what I mean? So they're kind of battle tested, playing Edna Carr. So they're going to be battle tested. So it's not going to be, anybody easy going in there thinking that they'll push over on them and can probably upset them. You know what I mean? So, and if they get their kid back, you're looking at, can they make a run at Hammond right there?
Yeah, that's again, guys. Anybody in the comments that knows if Serenity is back, man, that is going to be a huge thing to kind of keep an eye on, man. Man, even if she's not, man, that's a tough job. That's just somebody that I don't want to see if I'm Reeves. Reeves has the talent. They are young. They will be there for years and years to come. But I don't want to see Phoenix, who has battle tested themselves, who has made it to the deep in the quarterfinals and deep in these runs and stuff like this. That's a tough matchup, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Phoenix defeats Reeves. I wouldn't be surprised if Reeves blows Phoenix out either. I can definitely see that game going either way. I think Reeves and Phoenix are definitely the two better teams in this part of the bracket, though. But what's your thought, man? I'm putting you on the spot right here, man. Who you got, Reeves or Phoenix, man? Who you got right now?
Woo! Uh, yeah, you put me on the spot right there, man. Uh, I would have to go Reeves, man, with this one. I'm gonna go Reeves over Phoenix. But if Phoenix get their kid back, um, then you could easily look at it, I'm being wrong. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I know it looks like Reeves had a lot of canceled games down the stretch. Um, but they won a lot. You know what I mean? Only losing 2 of the last 10, look like something like that. So um, we'll see. But I think when it comes down to it, I think Phoenix is more battle tested than Reeves, and that could play a major part. So I may be wrong.
Yeah.
It's a toss up.
It's a good comment, right? FCA beat Phoenix. Again, that's without their big. So as FCA can definitely, they got a tough draw with Simpson, man. I think they could have competed with a lot of the other teams in the division. Would have loved to see them at the 7 or 6 seed. But FCA is a team to keep an eye out for sure. There's another good comment, man. Reeves, Fairview beat Reeves by 4 and believes that I was in their gym. Very hostile environment to play in. It's a good comment. Phoenix is going to travel somewhat good, but again, they're from the New Orleans area, Mardi Gras, everything else going on. Are you going to stick around, go to some Mardi Gras parades? Are you going to travel all the way to Reeves to support Phoenix in that quarterfinals? That game being at Reeves, with how invested that area and that community is in basketball, man, right now, that's going to be a fun place to play. Whoever Reeves plays is going to be down, you're going to be down 5-10 points before the ball even jumps up in the air, man. So that's going to be fun. I would have to lean Reeves just because of home court advantage right now. Then we get down to Plainview. Again, Plainview's got the experience, man. You had talked about Gibson Coleman a little bit in you guys' area. What's your thoughts here on this part of the bracket?
Well, I go Gibson Coleman here. Coach Housley does a great job with the kids. I heard early in the year they were kind of banged up. Latter part of the year, I'm not sure if that's still true. Um, um, But if so, they've tested themselves as well. You know what I mean? They played the Ruston, they played the Arcadias. They didn't shy away from. Look like they played Arcadia like 4 times. You know what I mean? So they didn't shy away from competition. You know what I mean? They played the Northwood Shreveport 5A schools, the Southwoods. So they're gonna be battle tested. That's Coach Hosler. He don't duck any smoke at all up in this area, man. He's going to be at everybody's tournament, and he's going to want to play the best. So
Yeah.
I got them beating Starks. They are going against Plainview.
Yeah, and I think Plainview, again, just with the experience, man, like, experience goes a long ways, especially we're looking into the quarterfinals when we're talking about these Plainview versus Gibson Coleman matchups. Like, that's the quarterfinals. You start getting a little nervous, start how do you prepare? Like, there's a lot of things that are uncertain. What do you do if you win? Like, how do you handle things? Like, how do you get people involved into the crowd? Do you do a pep rally? Like, all kinds of stuff, man. There's a lot of things that go into it. I just playing the game of basketball. Like, if you just show up and play like a normal Thursday, that's one thing. But it's a quarterfinal game. And Plainview's been here, done that, got that T-shirt, man. I think Plainview's experience, they've got the guards, the wings. I think they'll kind of rock and roll. They'll be ready to roll for this one. They'll jump into the top 28 again, and then we'll play whoever here is at the bottom half of this bracket. What's your thoughts here on the bottom half, man? There's some people talking about Calvin last week. Definitely talked about Summerfield.
Yeah, Calvin has made some noise. They played Natchitoches on Saturday. Didn't go so well for when they start to test themselves with 5A schools. You know what I mean? So they did good throughout the year, winning a lot of games. Don't really see anybody on the schedule where you just point to and say, oh yeah, they tested themselves. You know what I mean? They played the City Creek, yeah, and they played the West Washita. Um, and then they played Natchitoches. So three good teams there that they played. Won a lot of games, but when it comes down to it, man, I think Summerfield um, will probably be the one to come out of this bundle here of the bracket.
Yeah, and I think Summerfield got a great draw here, despite being a 2 seed. I think they got a great draw. You know, I think the really tough draw is that Reeves. You know, again, we talked about it a lot, man. Like you had to avoid Phoenix. Whoever got stuck with Phoenix, really, in my opinion, got the toughest draw. If Phoenix would have been a 6 seed, you know, then they would have played Plainview. That'd have been a tough draw. But because Phoenix is that 4 seed, Reeves is the one that ends up with a tough draw. Plainview and Summerfield end up with a better draw here, man. At the end of the day, Summerfield is definitely battle tested. They've done a good job of playing up down, especially in that area, like y'all's area of basketball. You know, they played Arcadia, Cedar Creek, Oak Grove. Haven't won those games, but have competed, and they beat Gippsland Coleman. You know, to kind of end the season out there. So I think Summerfield's just be a little bit better battle tested than Calvin. They're definitely gonna be ready to rock and roll against Hackberry, whoever wins that game. Um, but this is a cool division, man. Nonetheless, man, with Summerfield, Plainview, Simpson, Phoenix, Reeves. Even before we get into Class B. But yeah, man, let's jump into the best for last, man.
Best for last.
What you want to roll with here, man? Is this the Fairview Invitational or?
Is this the Fairview Invitation? Mr. Vickers on. He's one of our most loyal viewers. Vickers, is this y'all's invitation? That's what the people want to know. You know what I mean? Let's put it to question to him. He's always watching. A shout out for the support. You know, Fairview is Fairview. Jinx is a senior now. It seems like she's been playing forever. And I know a lot of people are probably waiting on the day that March gets here, right? To see her out the door, right? But their style of play is just going to be their style of play no matter who's running that point guard, position, right? So I think they get past Castle or Glenamore. I don't think Florine or Western, if I'm not mistaken, could actually compete with them. I'm trying to see if they played them already. Don't see them on their schedule. So it's Fairview to the top 28.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a great comment here, man. We see this with the Baton Rouge area of basketball, really dominating that division with Masson Prep, U High, Parkview, and Dunham as well. We can throw them in there in the mix as well. Great comment here. Fairview, Anacoco, Picken, Elizabeth Hicks, all playing some really good basketball. That district is going to have a huge impact on these two divisions here, man. Elizabeth and Anacoco in that first round that's a pretty cool matchup that we'll see in the next bracket there. Got some people talking about Oak Hill, Holden and Picken. Like I think there's some really good, fun little sneaky matchups here. But in order to be the man, you got to beat the man, dude. I'm not going to say too much about this top half of the bracket. Fairview is Fairview. And they have created the style of basketball that everyone in this division tries to mimic and tries to keep up with. And they're doing it and they've done it for a reason, man. Like, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. They are the man, for sure, man. Fairview cruises. They'll be back in the top 28 back at Hammond. Let's get into the next one, man. Anacoco, Quitman, Hathaway, Elizabeth. Like, what's some of your thoughts on this area? This style of basketball right here.
Again, like you just said, everybody trying to keep up with Fairview. Anacoco played them in January. At the end of January, it's a 10-point ball game. So that tells me that was a good ball game. You know what I mean? Anytime you can play Fairview within 10 points, that's a good ball game. So and then you have Hathaway coming out of there, and then you have Quitman.
Yeah, what do you think about Quitman? I mean, that's your area, right?
Quitman's another one, man. I think their schedule. You get what I'm saying?
They beat Northwood Shreve by 3. Competed with West Monroe, lost to them by 5. Like they've challenged themselves a little bit as well, man.
And they
lost to Houghton by 2.
Yeah, they lost to Houghton by 2. So they've tested themselves. And we'll see. They will see what they come out with it. I think they beat whoever Hathaway and Shudrin. And then we see Quitman and Anacoco in the quarters. Man, Quibbin hadn't been there a lot. Anacoco has.
Yep,
I gotta
yep.
go. I gotta go with Anacoco. You know what I mean? Those girls know what to
Anacoco
do.
goes on the road and beats
Yeah,
Equipment.
Anacoco goes on the road to beat Quitman. I'll book that. I'll call that one. Look, and maybe our crystal ball will be wrong, but we're gonna call it like that.
I love it. I love it. And I mean, if you do see that, then you get back to this matchup we talked about, a rematch of Fairview versus Anacoco in the semifinals, where Anacoco has beaten Fairview by 10. I think that's a matchup that we're kind of would like to see. I think even if I'm Fairview, I would like to see that as motivation. You know, like this team already beat you before. What do you mean? Like at that point, you go from being the one seed to now you can kind of play. If you're Coach Jinx, you can kind of play the underdog role. Even though Anacoco's a 5, they've already beat you. Like y'all got to practice harder. You got to be ready to roll. I think if I'm Fairview, I would like to see Anacoco in that semifinal game. I think you can really spin it that way as you're still being the underdog, even though you really are the favorite to win this one. Upset alert: Hathaway at Quitman. Okay, I would like to see that one. Hathaway gets a gets a win, and then they go on the road at Quitman. That would definitely shake up some things there. Again, style of basketball, Hathaway. Again, in that area with this style of basketball is really, 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 really good. Quitman, Phoenix is kind of on the outside looking in from where they're located at to where these smaller schools are. So I think they do kind of get left out a lot of times, for better or for worse. But yeah, Hathaway, man, could be back in there making some noise there. I could see an argument there. That's not a bad comment there at all. We'll jump into the next half of this bracket. Oak Hill, Pickin, Hicks. What's your thoughts here, man?
Well, I just saw that Pickens looks like they played Fairview in that district tournament. Fairview I think beat them. I do believe.
Yeah,
Yeah, Fairview beat them by 15. I mean, or 25. I'm sorry. And so Pickens gonna be in that top. I suspect that was the championship. So they're gonna be in the top. They'll come out of this side against Holden, man. Can they go beat Oak Hill? Oak Hill is Oak Hill, and they didn't run from anybody this year. You know what I mean?
yep,
So Oak Hill, man, I think Oak Hill will get picking in this part of the bracket. I think they played, and yes, Oak Hill beat them by 12 already. So you're looking at Pilkin, and it's like we got to go through Oak Hill, but that was back in looked like early January. So maybe you can catch a new team.
yep, absolutely. I mean, like this count right here, man. It's a tough part of the bracket, man. Definitely is, man. And, I mean, Holden's been a team that's been around, played some really good basketball here in the past. A team that we're used to making to the top of 28, multiple state titles in the history there. That's not an easy draw for Picken. Picken's definitely the better team there. Holden's playing some better basketball. Picken is the better team. Picken could definitely go on the road, and that's a tough draw for Oak Hill, man. That's not a good draw that I want to see if I'm a 3 seed there. I think Oak Hill is the favorite. Again, not overlooking a Hicks or somebody like that. I think Oak Hill is going to kind of cruise into that quarterfinal matchup. But Picken, man, that's a tough one. I definitely want to keep an eye on that one. I think that one could be tougher and closer than people may think. But again, I think Oak Hill's battle tested, man. Battle tested and experienced. So that's what you really want. And these quarterfinal games, man, are hard to win. Correct me if I'm wrong, man. I would love to know how many games have been upsets at quarterfinals when it gets to these small town schools. Then you got one red light, couple red lights in the city, man. Town hall, everything shuts down, gas station shuts down. Everybody comes in and watches the game. There's not much going on outside of the girls' basketball game. So whenever you go into these stadiums, man, it is tough place to play at. Tough place to win. So having that 1, 2, or 3 guaranteed home game is huge, man. 1, 2, 3, 4 actually guaranteed home game is huge. Like if a Hathaway could go in Equipment and win, and a Coco becomes a home team there, that's huge, right? So you've really kind of put your line of work out here for these home games. It's just a hard place to win at, man. We'll jump into the bottom half. A lot of people's favorite to win this, man. Bell City. A lot of people talking about Bell City is the favorite, despite Fairview being the 1 seed here. I love Bell City's draw. I think Bell City, we've seen some of the games that they've won. Their style of play is just big time. The Greek comes in with a 5-game win streak, which is big. Competed a little bit with Natchitoches Central, lost to them by 9, lost to South Bow by 15. Has challenged themselves a little bit, playing Barb and these other guys like that. But I think Bell City's just kind of got it rolling and at a different level right now. Bell City has not lost a game since they played Natchitoches Central. They lost to them by 2 back in December 21st. What's your thoughts, man? What's your feedback here on the bottom half of this bracket?
Yeah, like I said, man, it looks like Bell City is the favorite here. Hawaii, you can give them front. They've played Anacoco. They played the Florines of the world and the Fairviews of the world. They tested themselves against Holden and Benton, but the Greek is the Greek. I think the Greek comes out of that top part and plays Bell City, but I think Bell City will move on to the Final Four.
And I mean, it is to note that they played Hathaway to a 5-point game and then defeated Hathaway by 19. So Hathaway is kind of playing a little up and down as well. I think people who were talking about with Hathaway being possibly upset alert there in that first round, that definitely does put some merit with them competing with the equipment in the second round there, as they have competed with Bell City. There's definitely going to be some fun games here, man. Lacassine is kind of in that mix there, man. But just Bell City's just at another level here in that bottom half. I'm excited to see Bell City. Again, another team I'm rooting to make it to the top 28. They got a young lady that can really fill it up, can really shoot it. I just hope that she gets that experience of playing on that big stage. I think that could be really good for her recruitment. Some college coaches can see her at that level. And I'm really excited about that. At the end of the day, whenever it's close between teams like that, I always root for young ladies like that and for the experience and just the opportunity that she and her team would have. But yeah, man, it's been a long night, man. We're on here for 2 hours, man, but we really appreciate everybody for joining us. Games start on Thursday. Will be a couple games that might squeeze in on Wednesday. Keep up with the schedule, guys. LHSA will be updating those. Games will be updated as I see a bunch of games are already updated online now. But games have to be played by Thursday, and then we'll move on to the next round. We'll probably chop it back up on Sunday, us here. And yeah, man, you want to leave us with anything, man?
Preparation is key, man. Enjoy it. To all the girls, enjoy it. Practice time, enjoy it. You never know when it's gonna be the last. So to your seniors, leave it out on the court. Go get it.
Great point of view, man. And I mean, I would echo that as well to the parents, the fans. Get as many people as you can come to these games, man. Like I said, it's one thing for you to come to the game, but bring 3 more people, man. If everybody brings 3 more people, instead of having 100, you'll have 400, right? So I think that makes a big difference for the atmosphere, for the girls, everything. Like you said, you never know when's your last game. Man, I'm excited, dude. I'm excited about Thursday. I'm excited about next Monday, man. It's gonna be some really good basketball, and this thing gets ramped up really, really fast. The state championships are gonna be March 3rd through the 8th. So it's going to be rocking and rolling here, man. I mean, we're two and a half weeks away.
The team got by. Stay busy. You know what I mean? Don't get no rust on it. We're fortunate enough. You got Airline and Thibodaux just 10 minutes away. So we'll be there.
Yep.
Watching that game there. So we'll be busy.
Cool, man. Again, guys, everybody appreciate for tuning in, man. We'll be back probably Sunday to kind of recap the games from this past one, and then looking forward to Monday night's games. But until next time, man, appreciate y'all.